Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. Is this one going to work? Hang on, let me do it. No, I pressed it wrong button. I don't know what to do. It's that one. Oh dear. Cheer up. Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. I moved my microphone away because I've noticed it gets really loud and then it adjusts and comes quiet. So hopefully it's sorted itself out now. Welcome to my midweek news roundup. I've got a few news stories to look at. But first off, before I start, links for all these stories in the description down below. Don't forget, over there, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. I'm also live. Let's check. I'm also live on Rumble. Fingers crossed. Let me make sure. Yes, I'm there. And I'm also live on Twitch. Let's check that. Yes, we're going on Twitch as well. And obviously, we're on YouTube. Yes, we are. There we go. Hopefully, you can hear me. I will just check on my phone before we get any further. Just bear with me. Come on, phone. I need a new phone. I really do. I really do. Right. Why are you saying not coming for? It should be going. Volume up. Yes, we do. Yes, we're going. We're going. Right. Right, what we're going to say, I can't remember. What else was there? Yes, all that. Later on, I'll be live. Not live. I'm talking about. I'll be uploading this to Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to send me a message there, links for those are in the description. As he reaches and knocks everything over. Get off, knocking things about. I'm so disorganized. As are the links for me 2 books. Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in North Yorkshire, and Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and all that malarkey. Get over there. Right. What else? Oh, right. I've also got a Patreon. Hang on, let's get that up there. There we go. I've also got a Patreon page where I'm putting exclusive things on there or early access things. The things I've got on there now, I've got a couple of episodes of in magical monochrome where I do like a commentary to a classic, 50s B movie. I've got the Brain from Planet Arouse, Aros. I say Arouse, and Devil Girl from Mars. I've also got another video up there, one about Spock. It's like one of my regular videos, but it's exclusive to Patreon. Hopefully, I'll get some more patrons. But before that, there we go. Shout out to my patrons. Only one so far. Archmage Phrase, awesome. So it's my only patron so far. I'll leave that on for a minute. Right. So what next? Right, let's have a look at stuff. Right, to make myself small. Because first off, before we start, what's it called? I forgot the name of the bloody series. Secret Invasion started today on Disney Plus. The new Marvel series about the Skrulls and all that, Nick Fury, etc. And that started today. So let me get this going, and then as a background. So I'll just give it like a quick review of it. There we go. There's the trailer playing in the background without sound. It's not bad. The first episode, it's not amazing. And then we knew what was going to happen because it actually shows it in the opening credits, what's going to happen. It probably shows it in this trailer. Yes, it does. So, but it's not terrible, but I didn't find it amazing either, to be completely honest. Robert Marbinet said he enjoyed it. I don't think Chris Gore liked it, but, whatever. But I didn't mind it, but I didn't think it was amazing. It's not a full review, is this? Like I say, it's just my impressions after just watching it. It was okay, and that's all. That's all it was. It was okay. So that's all I can say about it. We see Nick Fury, we see there's Amelia Clark, and there's Olivia Colman, and But I don't really know what to make of it. I don't like these Skrulls, to be honest. I've never liked them since like Captain Marvel. Shapeshifters don't do it for me. Unless you're Odo from Deep Space Nine. But I don't understand how they work, shapeshifters, because we see them change into different people with hats and stuff. So what happens when they take the hat off? Does that like revert to whatever the Skrull's made of? I don't know. It baffles me. But anyway, it's all like super espionage stuff with the espionage music, with that sort of music playing, and it's all kicking off and that, or when they're following somebody surreptitiously, that sort of 24 style music. But anyway, we'll see what happens with episode 2. It's not bad, but anyway, so I just thought I'd give you my views on that. But anyway, let's get on with the proper news. So we will do that right now. Right. As I said, links are in the description for all this. Right, first up, revealed Embracer Group paid $395 million for Lord of the Rings rights. And there's Frodo, Frodo, like going, how much? Embracer Group, the Swedish gaming conglomerate that snapped up the rights to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit in a surprise deal last summer. They've been everywhere recently of Embracer. And they're paying the price, apparently. Has finally revealed how much it paid, and it seems like they got a bargain. The Karlstad headquartered company, is that in Sweden? I thought Karlstad was, I don't know. Where's Karlstad? Does it say? If I go to this, never mind, man. I'll look it up here. That doesn't sound Swedish, does it? Or maybe it is. Maybe it is Swedish. I don't know, but let's look it up. Karlstad. Yes, it is in Sweden. It sounds German, doesn't it? Anyway, never mind. The Karlstad headquartered company has confirmed it spent 4.2 billion Swedish krona. Sweden not in the euro? Obviously not. 4.2 billion Swedish krona, $395 million at today's conversion rates, to acquire Middle-earth Enterprises from the Saul Zaentz company last August. At the time the deal was announced, Embracer and Saul Zaentz, is it Zaentz or Zantz? I don't know, declined to say how much the Lord of the Rings holding company had sold for, but the estimates at the time projected the rights, which include worldwide rights to films, video games, board games, merchandising, theme parks, and stage productions, were worth up to $2 billion. It turns out the reality fell significantly short of that. For contrast, Amazon is rumoured to have paid $250 million alone for the rights to make the TV series The Rings of Power, which they snapped up directly from the J.R.R. Tolkien estate. The right to make a Lord of the Rings TV series longer than 8 episodes was one of the few interests in the franchise not owned by Saul Zaentz. Obviously, they saw Amazon coming then, didn't they? Amazon Games have also struck their own deal with Embracer to develop and publish a new massive multiplayer online game based on The Lord of the Rings. The sales figure for Middle-earth Enterprises, I mean, can you imagine like an open world Middle-earth game? It just like everybody would buy it, wouldn't it, if it were good? Imagine like like a Grand Theft Auto open world of Middle-earth. They can go everywhere. Or Skyrim, whatever, that sort of, where it's the Middle Earth. There's got to be a mod for it, hasn't there, for Skyrim? But I don't know. Where were we? The sales figure for Middle Earth Enterprises was revealed today in Embracer's annual report, which comes just a week after the games group revealed an aggressive cost-cutting program, including layoffs, game studio closures, consolidations, and restructures. I'd heard, I think one day last week, that they were in trouble and they were having to, cut costs for Embracer because they owe a heck of a lot of money, apparently, because of all this stuff they've been buying. The need for the savings measures unveiled by CEO and co-founder Lars Wingefors was put down to a spate of recent acquisitions. In addition to Middle-earth Enterprises, Embracer also bought comics publisher Dark Horse, anime company Anime Limited, the rights to Tomb Raider, and a number of video game studios over the past couple of years. Coupled with the economic downturn and the last-minute collapse of a significant deal that had been months in the making. unfortunately, one groundbreaking strategic partnership agreement that would have set a new benchmark for the gaming industry did unexpectedly not materialise, Embracer said of the defunct deal in the annual report. The gaming company also admitted that its acquisition of Middle-earth Enterprises had impacted cash flow to the tune of 2.9 billion Swedish krona, 276 million US dollars. I could have swore, why is Sweden in the euro? So let me type up Eurozone in this. Part of the European Union, are they? Have they? I don't know. Let's have a look. Eurozone. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, hang on. What's that? European Union. Oh, no. What's that a picture of there? No, it says they're in the Euro. I don't get this. It's all super complicated, international agreements and stuff. Eurozone members. Oh, right. So according to this, they're not. Right, fair enough. But there were. I just saw a picture that showed that Sweden was. Maybe it was for something else. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Right, for Lord of the Rings lovers, at least, the annual report brings a smattering of good news with the promise of several world-class products based on the Tolkien universe set to be delivered in the next 2 decades, while adaptations in other media are also in the works. In February, Embracer revealed it had struck a multi-year deal with New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers Pictures for agreement covers multiple feature films based on Tolkien's works. Something missing from there. I don't know. Comics fans have also have something to look forward to, according to Embracer's annual report, which says that Dark Horse has a healthy pipeline of projects in production in its entertainment business, with new streaming services and increasing competition creating a solid demand for content libraries, despite a more challenging end market. The comics publisher is also exploring novels, comics merchandising, and media development. So there we go. So they snapped up Lord of the Rings for what, a sixth-ish of what it was worth, apparently. Just under $400 million when it was said it was worth up to $2 billion. So, crikey. Anyway, so there we go. Right, next. Next, speaking of Secret Invasion, I think the next one's about that. Yes, it is, sort of, but not really, but kind of. Right, Samuel L. Jackson. That's not Samuel L. Jackson, obviously. Says election. This is from Bounding into Comics, so it could get spicy, and maybe a bit preachy because it's John F. Trent. So we'll see. Bless him. Samuel L. Jackson says election of President Donald Trump broke the Marvel's actress Brie Larson. I think it broke a lot of people in Hollywood, didn't it? I don't like Trump myself. I don't like Joe Biden. I don't like any politicians, but they kind of go a bit overboard, don't they? There she is. Actor Samuel L. Jackson, who reprises his role as Nick Fury in the upcoming Disney Plus series Secret Invasion, recently revealed that the election of President Donald Trump broke the Marvel's actress Brie Larson. By the way, in Secret Invasion, spoilers, apparently the blip broke Nick Fury somehow. I don't know. He has like a flashback of him turning to dust, at the end of Infinity War and nearly saying the MF word. But it's like a flashback, but it's like viewing it from outside. It's like having an out of body experience. Basically, the view that we had at the end of Infinity War. They should have done his view from his eyes, shouldn't they? Holding his little pager that they were using to page what's her face, Captain Marvel. It should have been that view, shouldn't it? And then his hand disappearing and the pager falling to the floor. But they didn't do that. Maybe I should be running Marvel. There he is, Nick Fury. He's not wearing an eye patch, by the way, in this series. We're seeing his bad eye, that the cat took out. Speaking with Rolling Stone's Marlo Stern, Jackson was asked, "You're going to be in the Marvels with Brie Larson, and you two are good pals." She got so much hate for playing Captain Marvel from the more sexist side of Marvel's fan base. What bollocks. It's because she were rubbish, and the film were rubbish. I've seen it once, and I tried to watch it again. I thought, all right, I'll give it another go. I didn't get very far into it. It's bloody awful. What was it like to see her go through that? But if you don't like it, if you think a film's bad and you think that a character's bad and it happens to be female, you're sexist. First, Jackson relayed how the two actors bonded. Brie's a stronger person than people give her credit for. We had done Kong together, Kong Skull Island, which was not the most wonderful experience for either of us, but it's a decent film. But she does, when she smiles in that, she looks like, I forgot his name. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Anyway, we became friends during that particular experience because we were having such a hard time. This was when she was doing her movie, Unicorn Store. Never heard of it. And trying to get a particular actor. I was in the makeup trailer with her and was like, why are you trying to hire this other actor and not trying to get me to do your movie? She said, I didn't think you would ever do it, so will you? And I was like, let's do it. And that's obviously a scene from it. Brie Larson as Kit, Samuel L. Jackson as the salesman in Unicorn Store. Oh, it's on Netflix. All right. I'll not watch it. Jackson then detailed they continued to bond when the election of President Donald Trump broke her. He relayed, then we bonded through the election while we were doing her movie when Donald Trump won. She was broken. And I was like, don't let him break you. You have to be strong now. Broke her. I'm sure she was fine, It wasn't as if they were like people. He sent out people rounding up, his political opponents. Then when she got Captain Marvel, she called me and was like, they want me in the Marvel universe. Should I do it? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. But she's not going to let any of that stuff destroy her. He continued. Jackson then derided Larson's critics. These incel dudes, who hate strong women, or the fact that she's a feminist who has an opinion and expressed it. Everybody wants people to be who they want them to be. She's who she is, and she's genuinely that. Maybe so. But just because you don't like her, don't mean you're an incel or a sexist or a, misogynist. To be honest, I'm not keen on Ben Mendelsohn, to be honest. He's in Secret Invasion as well. You may know him from other stuff. He was in Rogue One. He was okay in that, but I didn't particularly like him in that either. I'm not a big fan of Ben Mendelsohn. Does that make me, anti-Australian? No, it doesn't. I'm not Australianist. Right, whatever. Larson became infamous following her Crystal Award acceptance speech where she derided white male film critics. She said during the speech, I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me that what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what that film meant to women in colour, to biracial women, to teen women of colour, to teens that are biracial. And for the third time, I don't hate white dudes, she said. These are just facts. These are not my feelings. Larson went on to advocate for inclusion riders in film contracts. And there's a clip for it there. I won't play it. Leading up to and following the release of Captain Marvel, Larson pushed her brand of intersectional feminism. While promoting the film, she told InStyle the movie was the biggest and best opportunity I could ever have asked for. It was like my superpower. This could be my form of activism. You're an actor, The only act part that you need to do is actual acting. Doing a film that can play all over the world and be more places than I can be physically. That activism included the promotion of inclusion riders, which mandates racial and gender quotas for actors and production staff. Larson said, inclusion has to be a choice. Unless it's in a quota, then it's not a choice, then, is it? It's not happening naturally. You really have to fight for it. During an appearance in Tina Brown's Women in the World conference in New York back in April 2019, Larson made it clear she would use any kind of privilege she had to push her radical politics. There's two sorts of radical politics, by the way. It's not just all one direction. If you pushing it, your views, your political views, be what side of the political border they are. I hate left and right. I hate when they say, oh, you're on the left, you're on the right. Oh, by the way, I haven't got rid of that, have I? Sorry. I say hate left and, I agree with some left-wing politics. I agree with some right-wing politics. I agree with some middle-of-the-road politics. Why do we have to pick a side? I forgot where I want to. If I have any sort of privilege, I immediately want to spend it. Whatever that currency is, I'm spending it immediately. I'm not going to hold on to it, and I hope that I put it into some account and it makes more money. I want to spend it because we need the change now, and I'm really not afraid of falling on my face because I've done it my whole life. I'm just kind of like, bring it. Presume that's that. How long does this have to go on for? Larson would also throw her weight behind the Time's Up organisation, where she declared on Twitter, together we can end harassment, discrimination and abuse from the power imbalances we all face in the workplace. That's that tweet. The New York Times described the organisation's main goals were to create a legal defence fund to help less privileged women like janitors, nurses, and workers at farms, factories, restaurants, and hotels protect themselves from sexual misconduct and conduct and the fallout from reporting it. Pass legislation to penalise companies that tolerate persistent harassment and to discourage the use of non-disclosure agreements to silence victims. Reach gender parity at studios and talent agencies that has already begun making headway, and request that women walking the red carpet at the Golden Globes speak out and raise awareness by wearing black. God, we still haven't done yet. Hello, Wingrace. How you doing? Because politics is sport, your team or nothing. Yeah, I suppose that's. We're a tribal species, aren't we? You're either with me or you are the enemy. No in between. Interestingly, Larson has been less vocal about her various activist goals and was nearly invisible during the promotion of the recently released Fast X film. She also appeared befuddled when she was asked to comment on Johnny Depp's film Jean du Barry during the Cannes Film Festival in May. Yeah, I was going to mention this, actually, but they're doing it for me. When asked by a member of the press, you've been sort of outspoken and very vocal, and a very vocal advocate for Time's Up and Me Too. I'm curious how you feel about Johnny Depp's film opening the festival, and do you plan to see it? She answered, you're asking me that. I'm sorry, I don't understand the correlation or why me specifically. That's during that press thingamabob. The member of the media explained, you were on the advisory council, Celebrity Advisory Council for Time's Up. I think the Johnny Depp case has been well played out in America and international medias. There's been some controversy about that film being chosen to open Cannes. So I'm just curious if you will see it and how you feel about its selection here. She answered, you'll see, I guess, if I see it, and I don't know how I'll feel about it if I do. What do you make of Jackson admitting the election of President Donald Trump broke Brie Larson? As I said, it broke a lot of people, didn't it? But I presume the election of the other fella, Joe Biden, broke a lot of people as well. So I don't like either of them, to be honest. I'm not a fan of politicians of any nature. Our own politicians are a waste of time over here in the UK. So there you go. I didn't even vote at the last elections. Didn't see the point. I mean, if you don't agree with anybody that's up for election, why should you vote? Say, oh, but people died for your right to vote. They also died for my right not to vote as well. So there we go. So I'm grateful for that. Anyway, so yeah, as I said, a lot of people were broken by Trump's election, especially in Hollywood, because for some reason, actors and actresses in Hollywood and other people as well just like spouting their political views on Twitter and places like that. Particularly Star Trek actors, which annoys me. Oh dear. Anyway, I recently muted a Star Trek actor. I did. I'll not say which one. I didn't unfollow him or anything. It's a him, by the way. Yes. but I muted him because I thought, oh, shut up, you silly man. He's a popular actor as well. Speaking of Star Trek, I kind of covered this one in my last, I think it was in my last live news stream, but it popped up again, so I thought, sod it, we'll cover it again. Patrick Stewart, oh my, want him. I think I muted him a while ago, actually, George Takei, because it was getting a bit annoying. Sometimes on Twitter, them all the time going on about politics, of whatever nature, it just gets on my nerves. So I mute him. Just so it's not appearing on my feed. Right, Patrick Stewart wouldn't mind if he got one more Star Trek movie. The man's okay with Picard Season 3. He'd be okay with a Legacy spin-off. Please, won't someone at Paramount listen to Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart, and give him something? I used to be a big fan of Patrick Stewart, but again, he's another one of these that occasionally on Twitter, not as much as the others, thankfully, but he gets a bit political. And it annoys me. I know he's entitled to his opinions, but you don't find me spouting off about politics because I'm not important enough. Anyway, although Picard's third and final season was touted explicitly as the last hurrah of not just Patrick Stewart's iconic tenure as Captain Jean-Luc Picard, but the whole of the Next Generation cast ever since it ended, hell, even before that. Oh, pardon me. Hang on. I'm burping, which means I can use this.
I am so sorry. I was just finishing up a lovely lunch.
There we go. And Windgrace is saying, give something to Shatner. We're running out of the clock here. What do you mean, give something to him? Like a knighthood. He should be Sir William Shatner. So you won't be able to call him that. It'd be like William Shatner. Is it KBE, Knight of the British Empire? Like they did with Bob Geldof, because he's not technically a British. I think he's an Irish citizen, isn't he? So Bob Geldof, KBE, I think. But people still call him Sir Bob. So they should do the same for William Shatner. Is that what you mean? I don't know. Right, where were we? Stewart and his colleagues have repeatedly expressed a desire for a little more, and now the venerable actor is switching up mediums. As I said before, it's from round here. He was born. Which direction am I pointing now? Hang on. Where are we? About 2 miles in that direction. Follow my arm that way. About 2 miles that way. But to listen to him, you wouldn't think that, would you? It doesn't sound like me, does it? He's lost his accent. I wonder if he's still got the. I wonder if if you meet him, like if he's at his home. I wonder if he talks like me. Hey up, I see thee. Hey up, I'm Patrick Stewart. Come in, I get kettle on. Eat. That knows. That's what he talks like when he's not acting. A bit like Az, Az from Heel versus Babyface. He sounds, a little bit posh when he's doing his shows, doesn't he? But I bet when he's not on camera, I bet he's all, hey up, I'm Az. What's that short for? What's Az short for? Is it Ashley or something? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Right, where were we? After previously backing the idea of catching up with Jean-Luc occasionally as part of whatever could become Star Trek Legacy, the Picard continuation spin-off that showrunner Terry Matalas and crew have been screaming from the rooftops about throughout Picard's third season, hitting Paramount Plus. Bloody, that's a long sentence. Recently, Stewart has pivoted to an alternate pitch. What if we got one more TNG movie as a treat? By the way, there were a cool Star Trek Legacy poster on Twitter. See if I can find it. I can't. It could be anywhere. So once you miss something on Twitter, perhaps Star Trek Legacy. If that finds it, I'll go to latest and see if that makes it pop up. I can't remember who posted it. Well, it's Scorch. They've been on. Yeah, let's try Scorch. Oh God, I wish I could type. bloody ham-fisted bloody thing. Again, the Scorch, sorry. I think it were in this. Or I could be wrong. Maybe not. Maybe not. Is that it? No, isn't it? Oh, never mind. Anyway, there were a cool poster, a fan-made poster, obviously, for Star Trek Legacy, and it were really good. And I was going to share it with you, but I can't find it now. Where is it? And a cool picture of Christina Chong. Apparently, it was a singer as well, but I haven't heard her sing. No, it mustn't have been the Scorch. I can't remember. Right, never mind. Never mind. It's not important. Right. I forgot where we were now. Right. I think we could do a movie, a Picard-based movie. It would say that, wouldn't it? Now, not necessarily at all about Picard. Well, why would it be a Picard-based movie then? But about all of the TNG crew. He said that. He said, a Picard-based movie. Then he thought, oh, hang on, I better back up a bit. And to take many of those wonderful elements, particularly from season 3 of Picard, and take out of that what I think could be an extraordinary movie. Stewart recently told IndieWire for Picard's Emmy FYC for your consideration campaign. But this time, Stewart stressed a caveat that's not really been said all that much in these recent spin-off murmurings. If he gets what he wants, it would seemingly well and truly be it. I keep telling people and mentioning it, and so far there's been no eager response, but it might well happen, Stewart continued. And that would be, I think, a very appropriate way to say, and goodbye, folks. What, like a bloody Looney Tunes cartoon? Of course, Picard itself proved that nothing is always guaranteed to be the last goodbye, even if neither Legacy nor this movie nor any other kind of TNG return actually happens. Stewart and his cast members have made it clear they're down for more. If it does, it's got to happen, hasn't it? I mean, surely it's got to happen, and don't call me Shirley. But as Paramount reconsolidates its Star Trek slate, only time will tell if Stewart will get his wish anytime soon. My personal theory is that they weren't going to do, any more to do with Picard and Star Trek Legacy, whatever. And Kurtzman were going to do his Section 31 series and his Starfleet Academy series, and I suspect that they've shelved the Section 31 series in favour of the movie. And they're going to push forward with a legacy type. Maybe not called Star Trek Legacy, but, a spin-off from Picard Season 3. Fingers crossed. That's my theory. But Wingrace says, a movie where he gets Beverly and Laris, and they're all in a very happy threesome. Oh, my. And Vash too, why not? Yes, a foursome, indeed. Yeah, and I can't think of anybody else. Who else have we seen him? Oh, that scientist woman from that episode where she was playing the keyboard, and he was playing the flute. I forgot the name of the episode, and he fell in love with her, so told her to bugger off. Anyway, but my thoughts go out to whichever poor person will be the one who then has to sort out the release of that all the Captain Picard box set with whatever new comes to pass through, whatever. There we go. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that. He wants another movie, but we know that. I don't think he'll get a movie. Not a big screen movie. It might be like the Section 31 movie. They might think, we'll throw 10 million quid or 20 million quid at a film for Paramount Plus, like they're doing with Section 31. My nose is tickling. I'm going to have an argument. Right, so we'll move on. What's next? Moving on to Star Wars now. By the way, a bit of Star Wars, a bit of Star Trek, and what else? A bit of Black Mirror. We've got something to say, and a bit of Doctor Who. Right, but we're moving on to Star Trek next. If the page comes on, there we go. Full screen. There we go. Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Will it release or get cancelled? Who cares? Because Season 1 was bloody awful. As the Star Wars Mandoverse continues to expand on Disney Plus, the question is whether the Book of Boba Fett will ever receive a season 2. The Mandalorian's original spin-off series first debuted on December 29th, 2021 on Disney Plus and explored both Boba's past and his present as Tatooine's new crime lord. Yeah, you know, he's nice crime lord. God, it were awful. At the moment, there has been no official announcement for a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, despite several fan favourite moments. The Disney Plus series starring Tamara Morrison and Ming-Na Wen was largely met with mixed reviews. I think they're being a bit generous there. Still, leading up to the show's conclusion, what were the rating? Let's look on Rotten Tomatoes for the Book of Boba Fett rating. Be really high. Book of Boba Fett, Rotten Tomatoes. Let's have a look. Higher than I thought. Go away. 66% for the critics and audience score, 54%, which means that's not good, is it? But I thought it'd be lower than that, to be honest. Anyway. Where were we? Still, leading up to the show's conclusion, expectations were high for Lucasfilm to follow the Mandalorian model with a second season. Ming-Na Wen's 2022 Twitter post, where she referred to the show as Season 1, added fuel to the fire, and which she later clarified, saying, "Everyone jumped to conclusions when I called it the first season. What else would I call it?" To clarify, she'd been drinking. I don't know if she drinks. To clarify, it doesn't chapters of the Book of Boba. I think we went off for a second there. I will take a drink. Hey. Right. Later in 2022, the Star Wars actress, crikey, remained hopeful for a second chapter when responding to inquiries with, knock on wood, they'll be announcing that soon. Second season of the Book of Boba Fett, I hope. I never count my chickens before they hatch, because in this business, you just never know. But knock on wood, they'll be announcing that soon. More Boba seemed like a possibility in early 2023 when Mando's own Pedro Pascal referred to the show as a first season on the official Star Wars website. Yeah, but as I said, they will call it that, won't they? What else are they going to call it? However, Star Wars, they said the first season of Willow, didn't they? We all know what happened to that. However, Star Wars Celebration 2023 came and went with no news of a season 2, and Tamara Morrison was surprisingly missing in action in The Mandalorian season 3. What's the best bet for more Boba Fett? You know what I'm saying? Boba, not Boba, because it's Boba. At the moment, Star Wars fans shouldn't expect the Book of Boba Fett's sophomore season to release anytime soon, if ever. Just say second, don't say sophomore. Stop making up long words, you Americans. You're going about the British, spelling colour with a U and stuff like that, and get the R and E wrong way around in theatre. And then you're making up words like sophomore and trimester. Anyway, many of the critiques concerning the show's writing, use of flashbacks and series portrayal of Boba, a stark departure from Morrison's performance in The Mandalorian Season 2, are still fresh in audiences' minds. Plus, there's the reality that the best episodes of the brief 7-episode season starring Mando, not Boba, which retroactively hurt The Mandalorian's third season. And my son's lurking. Well, just come through then, and I'll just carry on now because you're lurking. You're distracting me. Bless him. Well, yes, you are. If you just came flying through and did your stuff and flew back, nobody would know. But now everybody does. Well, Wingrace does, and 2 other people. Where were we? But whether fan and critic complaints have played a part in any of the Lucasfilm's plans for the Book of Boba Fett is unknown. What is almost guaranteed to impact the studio's future is the ongoing WGA writers' strike, which could result in slate delays. Also, following Disney CEO Bob Iger's return, somehow Bob Iger has returned. Disney has become more cognizant about streaming expenses with an emphasis on quality over quantity, and even removing shows, Willow and others, and movies in the first ever Disney Plus content purge. I think they should get rid of some of the classic stuff. Not remove them permanently, but do like they used to do, with the old VHS days. They used to get things out of the vault, the Disney vault, for a limited time for you to buy and then put them away again, didn't they? Do re-releases of the classic animated stuff. They should do that on Disney Plus. Take things off for a while. Build up anticipation for when they're going to return. In addition, that's just my opinion. In addition, reports that Lucasfilm is not working on season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett have been circulating online. However, as the Mandoverse continues to grow with Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew, there are more opportunities for Boba Fett and Fennec Shand to return. Not to mention Dave Filoni's Mandoverse crossover movie, which would allow the bounty hunter to return to the big screen. The Book of Boba Fett is available to stream on Disney Plus. Boba. Sound like Rowan Atkinson, do Boba. Anyway, there we go. I don't think there'll be a season 2, but I think he'll pop up in Mandalorian, whatever, or Ahsoka. He'll pop up in one of the Mandoverse series, or the film, or both. But I don't think there'll be a season 2 of Boba Fett. Boba. Right, next. What's this one? Oh, speaking of, will something return for season whatever? Star Trek. Will Star Trek Strange New Worlds return for season 3? I hope so, because I like Strange New Worlds. Fight me. A lot of people, hate it, don't they? But I don't. I really like it. The ongoing WGA strike means a change of plans for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, as filming of the 3rd season, which was due to begin back in May, has been removed from the schedule with no replacement date in sight. Just send Migna over to Trek. Did I hear my cat then? It's the last franchise she hasn't been in. No, she hasn't, has she? Not as far as I'm aware. Did she have maybe she had a teeny tiny role in TNG or something? I've just got to go and see to the cat. She's up at the window. So just bear with me. I'll do the back in a minute thing. I'm back. Kids and cats, eh? Kids and cats. He's at it again. Stop mocking me. Where were we? I was talking about Ming Na, weren't we? Going to Star Trek. I wonder if she has been. Shall we check? We'll do another check, shall we? Has Ming Na when? Which, by the way, if you speak to her, normally, you call her by her first name, you call her Wen. Wen is her first name. Ming Na's the family name, apparently. Ming Na went Star Trek, see if it finds out. But it doesn't. Bet it doesn't. No, it don't look like it, does it? Somebody's asking on Reddit, so when does Star Trek get Ming Na Wen? Let's have a look on IMDb. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. No, it don't look like it, does it? Boo. She's been in everything else, though. Hasn't she? Been in the MCU, she's been in Star Wars, she's been in Stargate, been in Final Fantasy, and loads of other stuff, but not Star Trek. I don't think. Say that, though. Oh, no, that's it. No, that's it. The first thing on IMDb, she appeared in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood as a royal trumpeter, number 3, in 1985. 2 episodes. No Star Trek. Yes, it's about time. We ought to have a petition to get Ming-Na on Star Trek as a captain of a starship. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Wing Grace? What do you reckon, Aid? Get Ming-Na on Star Trek.
Sorry?
Should we get Ming-Na on Star Trek?
What for?
Just because everybody likes Ming-Na. Oh,
Why not?
okay. Right, where were we?
Okay. Thing.
There's my camera. Is that what you're... Okay, go on. I forgot where I were up to. This one. While this is obviously a good thing, as it means the producers won't be attempting to film the show without writers on set to make necessary adjustments. By the way, we're talking about Strange New World Season 3. In case you'd forgotten. The lack of a firm start date or official statements from the studio does have some fans worried. What if this isn't just a delay, but actually a cancellation? What if that's the end of it and there's no more Hot Daddy Pike? Hot Daddy Pike on screen to guide the crew through their weekly adventures with his firm, reassuring air and his firm, reassuring hair. You know, his Barney. I mean, he's not my thing, but I hear all of you. Your concern is understandable, so here's everything we've been able to find out to assure you that Star Trek Strange New Worlds will eventually return for Season 3. By the way, I think it'll go on for quite a while, to be honest, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and I think we'll see like a transition from Pike to Kirk, and they might just keep it as Star Trek Strange New Worlds and like remake the original series, sort of, if you know what I mean. That's just my opinion again. Has Star Trek Strange New Worlds been cancelled? No. While it's always possible that Paramount may decide to cancel it at some point in the future, mistakes are often made when it comes to Trek. After all, they have so far said nothing to even imply that Star Trek Strange New Worlds might be getting cancelled. What's going on with the filming of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3? After cancelling the May 2nd start date, the studio has yet to announce a restart date for production. The cause of all this anxiety, and Wingrace is saying things. Season 3 is the first chance they have to address any fan issues since Season 2 was basically done before Season 1 aired. Yeah, they were well into it, weren't they? Into post-production, I think, of Season 2, which is why it's come out reasonably close to Season 1 ending. I mean, well, within a year. I mean, these days it takes them forever, doesn't it, to do a series? Not like the old days when they used to, like, say, get 24 episodes out every year. Those days are long gone. Right, where were we? I forgot where I was now. This is actually a smart move on their part, though, because at this point we don't know when the WGA strike is going to end. So any projected start date would be based on guesswork. And they might end up having to cancel filming again if they end up guessing wrong, which would be embarrassing and waste a lot of people's time. As well set off all the same rumours about the show being cancelled all over again. It's better all around if they just wait for the WGA and the AMPTP, Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, to come to a resolution before deciding when to resume filming Star Trek Strange New World Season 3, which, to the best of our knowledge, is exactly what they're doing. So, is there going to be a Star Trek Strange New World Season 3? To the best of our knowledge, yes. We just can't say when. It is always possible that the studio might come out and cancel it at a later date. I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to go on quite a while. Barring disasters. A lot can happen in the next few months, and they might just decide something else is a more profitable option, but there are no plans to do that at the moment. As far as we know, there will be a season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. We just don't know when. If you want to see it happen sooner rather than later, supporting the WGA strikers and putting pressure on the studios is a great way to go about it. Whatever. Politics again. I'm not getting into it. But I do agree with some of their things. They should get paid properly for streaming, when stuff's streamed. Like I said, musicians, have had to struggle a lot of, for years, haven't they? Because of like Spotify, them just getting like pennies and stuff when something's played on Spotify. But anyway, but yes, I do. I think season 3 is coming. And we'll see what happens. But I do like Strange New Worlds. To be honest, I think it's my favourite of the new Star Trek. I like it even more than Picard Season 3. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. It's true. Because I love Picard Season 3. It was great. And especially when the, spoilers, Enterprise D showed up. But, and the rest of the crew, obviously. But, before that, it was just okay, in my opinion. And I did nitpick a lot of it. But Strange New Worlds, I just find it fun. It's a lot of fun, which is what we want a Star Trek to be. You don't be all miserable and serious all the time, do we, Robert My Burnett? Right. Screen rant one now. There we go. We're sticking with Star Trek. Hang on, full screen. We're sticking with Star Trek and Strange New Worlds in particular with a screen rant article, of course. Got to be at least one, haven't there? Captain Pike absence from Strange New Worlds Season 2 premiere explained by Star Trek director. Star Trek Strange New Worlds director Chris Fisher explains why Captain Pike, Anson Mount, only briefly appeared in Season 2's premiere episode. And there he is with Spock saying, I want you to make the ship go now. That's not a very good impression of Ethan Peck as Spock. I know, but never mind. Warning, this article contains spoilers for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 1, The Broken Circle. I need to find a video, don't I, of the red alert thing. I'm going to have to look on YouTube so I can play that. Because I'm obsessed with little video clips. And, like that.
Will Wheaton.
Anyway. Right, Star Trek Strange New Worlds director Chris Fisher explains why Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount, doesn't appear in most of Season 2's premiere episode, The Broken Circle. Pike leaves the USS Enterprise in Lieutenant Spock's, Ethan Peck, hands at the start of Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 1, Condition Red, or Read Alert. Chris goes on a solo away mission to find a lawyer to represent his first officer, Commander Una Chin Riley, Rebecca Romaine, at her... Why is it Romaine and not Remigion? At her Starfleet court-martial, but it's unusual, to say the least, for the captain of a Star Trek series to miss most of a season premiere. Appearing as a guest on the Seventh Rule, hosted by Cirroc Lofton. I always have got to think before I said that name, Cirroc. Because I want to say Kirk, but it's Cirroc, isn't it? And Ryan T. Husk, director Chris Fisher, explained Captain Pike's absence. Hang on. Oh, pardon me, cracking. It's all kicking off. All kicking off in my face. Explained Captain Pike's absence and why Anson Mount had to bow out of appearing in the Strange New World Season 2 premiere. Read his quote and watch the podcast below. Well, I'll read the quote to you, but we're not going to watch the podcast. Anson just had a baby. Well, his wife did. What?
Excellent.
Yeah, very good. Are you going to get the Vulcan nerve pinch? You're going to knock me out, are you? Ding!
Princess is acting weird at kitchen.
What? Well, that's what she does. Where were we? Anson just had a baby. He's not really going to be available for this episode. Pike's absence was definitely a challenge too, because Anson is such an incredible actor and Pike is such a great character. Stop trying to make me unconscious during a live stream. Oh dear. The episode focusing on the other Enterprise crew came from the necessity of Anson just had a baby and he needed to spend time with his kid. So we knew that, of course, and we had 9 months to prepare for that. So our showrunners wrote an episode that kicked the door down in terms of fun and action and really leans heavily on what makes these other characters so awesome. And I really liked that first episode. A lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was great. I loved it. Well, what's I love? I give it a 7 out of 10, which is good, isn't it? And there's a scene from it. It's oddly enough the same scene as that from the video. Spooky. The real world joy of Anson Mount becoming a father when Strange New World Season 2's premiere went into production worked out well for the actor and the series. Mount appeared as Captain Pike in 2 brief scenes at the start of the Broken Circle, and his absence allowed for the spotlight to shine on the rest of the crew, including Spock, Dr. Joseph Mabenga. I always say Mabenga. I know people, even in the series, say Mbenga, but I still say Mabenga because that's just the way I roll. Babs Olasanmakun. Oh, God, yeah. Nurse Christine Chappell, Jess Bush, Laan Noonien Singh, Christina Chong, as well as introducing Strange New World Season 2's newest edition, Chief Engineer Commander Pellier, Carol Kane. The cast of Strange New Worlds all stepped up and delivered a thrilling, action-packed and emotionally charged Season 2 premiere. It was good, I really enjoyed it. Without Captain Pike as the Season 2 premiere's centrepiece, Strange New Worlds leaned into the strengths of its ensemble and deepened several characters in the process. More about Chapel and Mbenga. Yeah, I said Mbenga, didn't I? And Mbenga's backstory as veterans of Star Trek Discovery's Klingon War was revealed. Spock made friends and drank with Klingons. And the love story between Spock and Nurse Chapel intensified. I can't recall it a love story. Their relationship intensified after the Vulcan lost control of his emotions and momentarily believed he killed Christine and Joseph when Spock gave the order to destroy a false Starfleet ship. There were spoilers at the beginning, weren't there? That prevented another Klingon war. A Crossfield class ship which looked completely different. Well, the secondary hull did anyway. It was like a Miranda class variant of a Crossfield class. Anyway, whatever. Where were we? Captain Pike will be back in Star Trek Strange New World Season 2, Episode 2, but his crew performed admirably in his absence. Yes, they did. I really enjoyed it. Star Trek Strange New World Season 2 streams Thursdays on Paramount Plus. Oh, right. That's why I couldn't watch it this morning. It's only Wednesday. I got it in my head for some reason. It came on Wednesdays. But no, I watched Secret Invasion instead, which were okay. You know, nothing special. So there we go. He's had a baby. I think that's just an excuse, to be honest. I mean, it's only 1 episode, isn't it? He's back next week. They could have, moved it around a bit and, move the schedule around, so they could have had a little bit of extra time off. But, that's just an excuse. It's just an excuse. They didn't want him in this episode. They wanted an episode for the crew, didn't they? So that's what they did. They said, "Hey, you can have a week off. Just film these couple of scenes and go and be with your kid." That's all we did. Right, let's move on. Next up, where are we? What are we on now? Oh, another 2 more stories that are kind of connected, sort of, in a weird way. First up, why Anthony Hopkins found his role as the MCU's Odin pointless. There's another story after this with Michael Shannon saying a similar sort of thing, but different, but you know what I mean. It's basically, actors poo-pooing the idea, basically, popular entertainment. I don't know, I read the article, but that's my impression from the headline. It's not exactly uncommon for great actors to look back at some of their most well-known roles and express apathy or even contempt for them. Alec Guinness famously cared little for his work in Star Wars, even to the point of making monumental demands for his appearance in the sequel. Well, I don't know about that, but he made more money from Star Wars than he did every other film that he were in. With Game of Thrones having an extensive cast of storied actors, Liam Cunningham was one of the few to look at the experience with affection, and even he didn't exactly jump at the chance to do the show. In some ways, fantastical franchise work can be especially hard on such actors, even if the pay is very good. Anthony Hopkins is one such actor, one of the prime examples of a performer who always brings elegance, dignity, and nuance to every character he plays, whether it was his breakout Oscar winning role in Jonathan Demme's 1991 film. The Sounds of the Lambs. His breakout, wasn't his breakout role? He's been famous for years, Anthony Hopkins. He was in Magic, wasn't he, in the 70s? Anyway, whatever. His shattering work in 1993's Remains of the Day, or even his bizarre, hilarious showing in 2017's Transformers The Last Night, which I've not seen because I hate the Transformers films. There we go. Wasn't as pointless as Glenn Close in Guardians. I forgot the name of the character. I don't know. She was just there, wasn't she? She was just there. Oh, never mind. You see those qualities. In 2011, he appeared in another sci-fi franchise. And don't forget, we're also in The Wolfman, which is a film I really, really like. But he does ham it up in that a bit. They all do a bit, but it's just a fun film, I think. The Wolfman. My favourite part of it is where he goes up to blow out, like a candle thing, lamp, an oil lamp. He goes to blow it out, and it actually goes out before he blows it. Anyway, in 2011, he appeared in another sci-fi franchise, playing the kind of supporting role that becomes the bread and butter for classically trained British actors of a certain age, the old wise leader tasked with making decisions that will guide a kingdom. This was Thor, the first film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe sub-series about the titular god of thunder, Chris Hemsworth. Hopkins would show up in that, the 2013 sequel Thor The Dark World, and the 2017 sequel Thor Ragnarok. The thing I remember most about him is just going, "But you're not king yet!" Anyway, despite the many returns, he had mixed feelings about the part, as he told the New Yorker in 2021, it's taken 2 years to come out, has it? It's pointless acting. Superheroes by way of Shakespeare, and there he is as Odin. When it came to the Thor series, the characters were treated with utmost seriousness, at least at first. The first movie in 2011 told the story of the gods' fall from grace and ousting from the kingdom of Asgard. I've always thought that first Thor film, it's all right, but I've always thought it was a bit overrated, to be honest. Did enjoy it, but a bit overrated. I think maybe I prefer Dark World more than the first one. I'm one of these people that, as I said, because of the Monday moan, I tend to like things that most people don't. Anyway, he must not have hated it too much, playing an android in the new Rebel Moon movie. Is that what he's doing? All right. Is that what he's doing? This is it. They're not complaining when they're picking up the checks, are they? Or winning awards. It's just a bit of, these particularly theatre actors, they think it's a bit demeaning to them, or let's say they want to concentrate on their serious work, the craft. You were never serious about the craft, and all that. But does me head in. Where were we? The first movie in 2011 told the story of the god's fall from grace and ousting from the kingdom of Asgard, as well as his eventual redemption in victory over his brother Loki, Tom Hiddleston, all of which set the stage for the first Avengers film in 2012. Well, no, because we got Captain America, the first Avenger before that, didn't we? To the extent, which is one of my favourite MCU films. To the extent, possibly my favourite MCU film. It's up there anyway. To the extent that Odin, Anthony Hopkins, factors into the narrative, he's essentially a plot device, somebody to withhold Thor's destiny until he proves himself. It's by no means the meatiest role of Hopkins' career up to that point, nor does it meaningfully utilise his talents beyond the refined theatricality that he could pull off with little effort. Excuse me. Refined theatricality he could pull off with little effort. This was an actor who had started doing William Shakespeare plays at the Royal National Theatre in 1965, playing a broadly Shakespearean king in a superhero movie in 2011. Piece of cake. I played Macbeth. I had 10 standing ovations. That's from Galaxy Quest, I think, isn't it? I don't know. Shakespeare was clearly who Marvel had in mind when it came to developing Thor, particularly in the hiring of frequent Bard adapter Kenneth Branagh to direct. At this point in the Marvel story, Thor had yet to make the shift into comedy that would come to define him for better, and as Chris Hemsworth admits, for worse. I've still not seen Love and Thunder. Branagh takes the story fairly seriously, from the opening battle with the frost giants to the lighter, fish-out-of-water material that comprises most of the movie. I think my favourite bit is where he's in the cafe and he's drinking his coffee and he smashes a cup. I like it. Bring me more. Or whatever. Most of the Asgardian cast of the movie, with the exception of Thor and Loki, are left fairly one-dimensional by the movie's end, mostly functioning as types. That's his merry band of, I don't even know what they're called, his merry band of people. Ray Stevenson were wonderful, wasn't he? The late Ray Stevenson and a couple of others. Miss, I can't remember. And she popped up in Loki, didn't she? To kick him in the nuts repeatedly. And Hopkins, with stentorian grace and distinguished manners, would have to struggle to make Odin interesting with so little on the page. But he did, You're not king yet. Yes, the Warriors 3. Yes, them. Sif, that's it, Sif. Yeah, isn't that scouring powder? Cleaning fluid or something. That's... If it sounds a bit harsh for Anthony Hopkins to call the work he did in the Thor movies pointless acting, it's worth remembering that this is an older actor with a history of beloved performances and accolades in fantastical franchise mode. He was 73 years old when the movie was released, and as he told MTV News, it's a surprise to be in these sorts of movies. For him, working on the movie was fairly easy, with his familiarity with Shakespearean decorum, letting him easily sit back and watch young actors like Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth take the material a bit more seriously. Well, that's what these sort of films are like for, though, aren't they? You give the great actors these small roles as the wise older people, and that's what they become. They become more famous for those roles, don't they, than anything else they've ever done. It's like the Harry Potter films. Every British actor over 60 or whatever has been in a Harry Potter film, usually as a professor at Hogwarts. Anyway, there are occasional exceptions like Bill Nighy's enthusiasm and energy for all things Pokemon in 2019's Detective Pikachu, which I've not seen because Pokemon doesn't do anything for me. Cat's meowing. You wanted to go out? Where are you? Just bear with me. I'll be back momentarily. Disruption. Never bleeding ending. Windgrace is saying things. Was Sean Connery offered Odin and he didn't get it again? Elbow cough. Which one was it now? We were offered something, wasn't it? Yeah, we've talked about it recently. I can't remember what it was. Where were we talking about it? Or I did see it recently. Was it on the Discord server on thingy? Popcast Boys or whatever. I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, he didn't get it, did he? Yeah. I don't think it was Odin, was it? No, because I did an impression, didn't I? Oh, it was Gandalf, wasn't it? He were offered the role of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. That's it, yeah. You shall not pass. I'm Gandalf the White. Gosh. Anyway, yeah, so it was like with Gandalf, wasn't it? Detective Pikachu was pretty good. Ryan Reynolds played Pikachu like Deadpool without cursing. All right. Like I say, I've never been into Pokemon. I've never played a Pokemon game, so I've never been interested in. I'm not a Nintendo person, even though I say it again. Got a Nintendo Switch there. Never use the bugger. Look, it's switching on. Don't even know how to turn it off. Where's the on-off button? Is that it? Yes. Never use it. Never use it. Is that still off? I don't know. Anyway. Games are bloody expensive for them, though. They're a little tiny cartridge, and the game's like 50 quid. Not bloody hell. I forgot where I was now. 2019's Detective Pikachu there, but the general vibe from any older actors around franchise work tends to begin and end with it being a paycheck gig. Well, yeah, it's also, if it's successful and they go back for more, it's like a bit of insurance for the family, innit? It's inheritance for the kids and stuff, innit? Anyway, that classification feels especially true of Odin in Thor, who mostly plays the role of a disappointed dad before his surprisingly tender seaside passing in Thor Ragnarok. For Hopkins, I keep saying Hopkins, aging into a mode where he could more easily summon the details he needed for a performance made acting more enjoyable. But less of an obsession, as he told The Talks in 2011. That ease probably added to the seeming pointlessness he described to the New Yorker, which wasn't helped either by the nature of acting against a green screen. The distancing effect of visual effects heavy film sets can go far. Well, they always struggle, don't they? Though the older actors, I suppose any actor struggles, acting against a green screen, unless it's just two people talking, then that's different. But if you've got to be reacting to what's going on around you, Ian McKellen struggled, didn't he, with The Hobbit, when all the dwarves were in Bilbo's, house, home, Hobbit hole, when they were in there, and he'd to do it in a separate area to where all the dwarf actors were. He had to do it in a separate area in like a green screen room that were just all green, but in like the shape of the Hobbit hole with like green blocks for chairs and stuff. And he couldn't do it, could he? And he would move to tears, wouldn't he? Because I can't do it, and it was horrible for him. Poor man. But he still got paid a lot, so cope. Right, Marvel. How does this article go on for? It's all right. It's not long. It's just that. I just saw that the scroll bar at the side were about that big. Bloody hell. But there's more than one article per page, thank goodness. Right, it's not as if Anthony Hopkins took the money from Marvel and ran, never to give a serious or moving performance again. He won the Oscar for Best Actor in The Father in 2021. But with the Marvel movies, he made a fairly conscious choice to show up and say his lines. As he told the New Yorker, he wrote NAR on his copy of the Thor script, a phrase that harkens back to Gregory Peck's own script notes for John Huston's Moby Dick. No acting required. Not NAR that you see on non-Starfleet starships. Like the Raven, for instance, that were NAR, whatever numbers it were, like NCC. Sorry. And Peck was playing Captain Ahab, a role with a bit more depth than Odin, Thor's dad. From hit's sake, I spit my dying breath at thee. Speaking of Star Trek, at a time when the question of Marvel movies' artistic credibility is constantly up for debate, when directors like Quentin Tarantino implicitly cite it when calling the present one of the worst eras in film history, kind of is, it's worth noting that many actors to work in the franchise have had more engaging experiences than Hopkins. Angela Bassett's work in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was a remarkable and highly personal expression of grief. Not seen it, so I don't know. You broke your little ships. That wasn't Angela Bassett, was it? That was that was Alfred Woodard, wasn't it? Sorry, in case people don't know what I'm talking about. Alfred Woodard said that, didn't she, in Star Trek First Contact? Remarkable, blah, 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 blah. Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback is directly tied to his frequent work as Tony Stark on from 2008's Iron Man. Is he coming back? Yeah, did they say something about Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Iron Man? But I don't know how they're going to do it. One of the most surprising stars to come out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is probably Dave Bautista, playing Drax the Destroyer in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It's difficult to imagine him breaking free so immediately from his wrestling image and developing his trademark blend of sincerity, silliness, and intensity without that role in the series' first entry in 2014. Still, as much as he liked playing Drax, he doesn't want it to be his legacy. That discomfort is probably something Hopkins understands. But as long as they do plenty of other things, as if they get typecast in it, that I suppose they probably feel a bit put out and a bit resentful. Something about possible Iron Man 4. I don't know. I've seen something about him coming back, but I can't remember in what, how. Because, spoilers, he died, didn't he? At the end of Endgame. So is it going to be like a multiverse thing? They could do that, couldn't they? A Tony Stark from another reality, I suppose. Anyway, I'm surprised they haven't done it already, to be honest. That's it, innit? We've done that at the end. But Dave Bautista, he's all right. He was good in Spectre, the James Bond film. He played a good henchman in Spectre, but he didn't have any lines. I think he had one word, didn't he? Which I can't remember what it was. Might be shit. But anyway. Yes, multiverse, hologram, or Skrull. Don't talk to me about Skrulls. How do the hats work? Because in this new one, we see a fella, we see in Secret Invasion, we see they get a human and they show him to a Skrull who's in Skrull form and said, copy him. And this human's wearing an orange beanie hat. So the Skrull transforms and he's got an orange beanie hat. So is that detachable or is it part of his head? I don't know. I find it all confusing with these shapeshifters. Bloody changelings. Back to Star Trek again. Right, so that's that. But yeah, that's it. I understand why some of the, what would you call it? Mature actors do get a bit resentful of, less meaty roles. I suppose they'd say, wouldn't they? They'd probably find it easy. But Ian McKellen didn't find it easy on The Hobbit, did he? No, he didn't. So anyway. Right, let's move on. What we got? We get in there, don't worry. Oh, yes, I forgot. Yes. Another story that's in a similar vein. Michael Shannon says he turned down a role in Star Wars because he doesn't find big blockbusters very stimulating work. So it's a similar motif, isn't it? The world doesn't need more mindless entertainment. And it's what it didn't end with the word darling. It's that like that. I'm a thespian, I won't read all them because they'll probably get repeated. Michael Shannon, who is starring in The Flash, his third movie in the DC universe. Is it? I can't remember. I know we're in Man of Steel. What others were he in? Can't remember. Said he turned down a role. I know they had a dummy of him in Batman vs. Superman, didn't they? Has he been in another one? I can't remember. His third movie, the DC, said he turned down a role in Star Wars because he doesn't find big blockbusters and franchises interesting, nor does he want to perpetuate them, except for being in the DCU. In a new interview for Empire Magazine's print edition, the 48-year-old actor was, God, he's younger than me, God, that's depressing, was asked about turning down the role that would have taken him to a galaxy far, far away drinking game. Water. Anyway. And said he's a bit wary about those giant movies as they take a lot of time and I don't find them very stimulating to work on. Well, don't bloody do them then, you snobby get. I don't ever want to get stuck in a franchise, he said. I don't find them interesting. I don't want to perpetuate them. Well, sod off then, do something else. Don't say that when you were in an Oscar-winning film, The Shape of Water. That's like a sci-fi, horror film, wasn't it? And you were good in that. he said, if I'm making something, I want there to be some kind of purpose to it. I don't want to make mindless entertainment. The world doesn't need more mindless entertainment. We're inundated with it, he added. I suppose he's got a point there. Particularly with current Star Wars. Can't say that for Star Trek, 'cause I think current Star Trek seems to be improving, but a lot of people disagree with me anyway. As for why he thinks playing supervillain General Zod in the DC Extended Universe's The Flash, a film which is both being marketed as a summer blockbuster and part of a franchise, is different, he said that it was actually a very relevant story. It's basically looking at a civilization that destroyed their own planet and think the solution is to go off and destroy another, he said. When you hear that, hypothetically, if we destroy the Earth, we might go live on Mars. It's the same thing, he continued. I didn't look at Zod as a villain. Excuse me. I just saw him as a guy whose job is to protect his people. However, he admitted he didn't expect to see myself playing Zod again. In DC's latest release, given his character's fate in Man of Steel, which saw him satisfyingly eliminated by Superman, Henry Cavill, at the end of the movie. Spoilers. Still don't understand that bit. Spoilers for the end of Man of Steel. Zod's like using his laser vision and he's cutting, and Superman's holding him, and he's got his laser aimed at this family that's cowering in a corner. And Superman just put his hand over his eyes. He wouldn't have cut through Superman's hands, would he? But no, he had to snap his neck and kill him and then, feel all guilty about it. Stupid film. But yeah, I think Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, I think that's a masterpiece. Apart from Lex Luthor, but never mind. Where were we? Shannon also appears briefly in 2016's Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice 2. As I said, I think that's just a dummy. I think that's like a, what they call it, a mold. I think they've done a mold of him. I don't think it was actually him. Anyway, it's actually one of the reasons I made Man of Steel in the first place. It was a one and done, he explained. So I was pretty shocked to hear about this reprisal of the role. When are you going to talk about Star Wars? Talk about Star Wars. But I like the story that The Flash is telling, and I wasn't there for a long amount of time. I was just there for a couple of weeks, so it didn't break my back to do it. Thought Krypton was destroyed from natural events, and they were just too blind to believe it. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I didn't think they destroyed their own world, did they? Well, I don't know about Man of Steel, because I can't remember what happened in it. Because I didn't particularly like it. It was okay, but I think I've only seen it a couple of times. I wasn't really paying that much attention. But in the 78 one, like I said, it was the Krypton star that exploded, wasn't it? That wiped out Krypton. I don't know. The Flash takes place in an alternative timeline where the Justice League doesn't exist, so Zod is trying to take over the Earth and transform it into a new home for his nearly extinct Kryptonian race. Since there's no Superman to defeat, excuse me, it's up to Barry Allen, Ezra Miller, and his team, which consists of Supergirl, Sasha Calle, and Batman, Michael Keaton, to take Zod down this time around. Read Insider Entertainment, blah, blah, actual review. Is that it? Oh, so he's not talking about Star Wars. That's all he said about Star Wars, was it? Where are we? The world doesn't need more mindless entertainment. That's all it was. But he's not saying what he got offered. Next. What a waste of time on it. Right, Rosario Dawson. The lovely Rosario Dawson. What's happening there? Go away. Who I first remember seeing in, I probably said this before, in Alexander, that film, that Oliver Stone film with Colin Farrell as a oddly Irish accented Macedonian. But she appeared as some, like one of the kingdoms that Alexander conquered. She was like a princess or something, wasn't she? And we saw her in the nude, and it was cool. Rosario Dawson keeps it vague on Hayden Christensen's Star Wars Ahsoka involvement. Rosario Dawson is keeping it tight-lipped about any major Star Wars Ahsoka cameos, but she's saying a lot by not saying a lot. In a recent interview with Total Film, Dawson opened up about her upcoming Disney Plus series, and she was asked straight out if Hayden Christensen would appear as Anakin Skywalker. Dawson tells the outlet, it's pretty remarkable and exciting. We were teenagers, eh? And then I saw him right immediately afterwards go into this universe. What are they talking about? I never could have fathomed that I would have had any part of that besides just being a fan of his and being really proud of him. All right, they must have been friends when they were kids. It's just been really cool that at this moment I'm joining it and he's been able to come back. But then again, he were in Attack of the Clones in 2002, wasn't he? Then so he went off to do Attack. So were he a teenager then when he were in Attack of the Clones? And was she a teenager? Because she were in, I said she were in Alexander. I'm going to have to look this up now. See, I'm going to have to look stuff up now. Bloody celebrities saying things. Rosario Dawson. IMDb, that's what we want. Not Wikipedia. IMDb. When was she born? 1979 she was born. So if Phantom Menace came out in 19, so she was 20. So she was over 20 then when Attack of the Clones came out. She was 23. But give it, a couple of years for filming. So yeah, maybe just about teenagers when he went off to do film. Maybe he was 19. But when did she do Alexander and Clark's 3? Not Clark's 3, Clark's 2, sorry. Let's have a look. Go back. She's done that much stuff at IMDb, is massive. Keep going. Scroll. Right, Men in Black 2. Yeah, I thought that were a while ago. That was 2002. So she was 23 then. Oh, we'll say 22 when she filmed it. But where's Alexander? I can't remember when Alexander came out. When did Alexander? Oh, it's the year 2004. So it was a little bit older then. Why, Sin City. Why, she made an impression in that as well, didn't she? She's a handsome woman. Anyway, whatever. Right. So maybe they were teenagers. Just. Right, where were we? Dawson will obviously not confirm the story, but there's also no way she could hide her excitement about working with Hayden Christensen. The actor recently made his return to the galaxy far, far away drinking game. For the first time since Revenge of the Sith, with his appearance in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he looked weird. A significant moment for the Star Wars fandom. Seeing Anakin in live action with his protege Ahsoka could be a truly iconic moment. We will have to find out later this summer. But how's that going to happen? Because he's dead, isn't he? Unless he's a Force ghost. That's the only way to do it, isn't it? Unless it's like the world between worlds, time travel and all that. I don't know. Anyway, Ahsoka starts, blah, blah, blah. And there's a poster, which looks cool. And it starts on August 23rd on Disney Plus. Is he going to be in it? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. And there are rumors that he's going to feature the world between worlds because the original designs for it, posters and stuff, showed that world between worlds design thing, didn't they? Looks a bit like a Stargate, doesn't it? Pardon me. But yeah, I bet he's in it. I bet he is. I won't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Right, nearly done. All right, here we go. A bit of Black Mirror next. Right, here's what you need to know about Red Mirror, Black Mirror's new horror direction. It's just started on Netflix as Black Mirror, the latest season. I think it's season 6, I think. And to be honest, because I saw this, I haven't read the article, by the way, but I saw the headline. I saw that. I thought, right, I'll watch this episode first. And I didn't get very far into it. I didn't like it. It annoyed me. Spoilers, it's about a demon. It's called Demon 79. And it's set in 1979. It's actually really well filmed and stuff. And well acted and all that. And you do get a feeling that it is in 1979. It's about racism. As you can see, she's obviously, you know, and what in the UK we call, you know, I think what Americans call South Asians, we just call them Asians. It is, you know, of like Indian, Pakistani, Bangladesh, that sort of descent. She plays one of these characters and basically summons a demon. Spoilers. She summons a demon. It comes out like what they call them. What's that game? That Chinese game. Mahjong. One of those sort of tiles. It comes out of one of those. But it annoyed me. The person playing the demon annoyed me. And it was a bit of a like, you know, all right, I'm a demon. Oh, click the heels and all that. You know, it got me nuts. I turned it off. I'll probably go back to it and finish watching it. But anyway, here's the article. Because Black Mirror is usually about sci-fi and stuff like that in the future, whereas this one goes back to 1979 and it's kind of a horror story. So there we go. Right, anyway, I don't know if you noticed, says Harrison Brocklehurst. Cool name. I don't know if you noticed, but something has shifted in season 6 of Black Mirror, the latest to release on Netflix. Once a series focused on telling stories exclusively focused on near-future sci-fi and all the dangers of technology, season 6 of Black Mirror focuses, he likes the word focus, doesn't he? On this less and focuses on this less and seems more interested in just telling dark stories. Yes, sounds less technological. Or doesn't sound technological. No, there's no tech. Well, as far as I got into that episode, the one. But it does say, when it comes on, it does say that. It says Black Mirror presents a Red Mirror film. So is it a deliberate moving away? What it says there, look. Anyway, especially in the cases of Maisie Day and Demon 79, the final two, which have no technology at all. Those paying attention at the start of Demon 79 would have seen the words a Red Mirror film flash up in the title sequence. Black Mirror creator Charlie Brooker has explained what Red Mirror actually is and what it means for the future of the show. Excuse me. Charlie Brooker has said that the Red Mirror branding is because of the episodes moving away from a technology focus. Demon 79 opens with a Red Mirror Presents title sequence, marking it out as different from yet adjacent to Black Mirror. This is because typically Black Mirror has focused on tech dystopias or media satire, whereas this story has a stronger supernatural element, harking back to 1970s horror. The episode is almost unclassifiable. Well, no, it's like a horror story. It's like an episode of like Tales of the Unexpected or something like that. You know, it's one of those. Anyway, great. Another Netflix horror thing that will get cancelled without an ending, probably. That's the demon in Demon 79. And that says a bit, cool, blimey, governor. He's appearing there as a member of Boney M, you know, the pop group. Because she likes Boney M, does the actor Needer or something she's called. Anyway, it was really, really useful as a sort of refresh, a reset quote. When Black Mirror started, it was 2011, and at the time there weren't many shows that looked like it, or there weren't many shows where someone looked at a smartphone, frankly, let alone obsessed over one and sat there staring at it until it ruined them. Like me. It felt like there's quite a few shows with dystopian sci-fi technical themes. Love, Death and Robots, for instance. So partly what I was doing, I was setting myself a task of what if I think of some storylines that aren't to do with technology and are to do with horror or set in the past. Speaking of Netflix and horror, British TV horror, there's one on Netflix called Dead Set. It's a zombie one. Watch it. It's great. Love it. It's like Big Brother. If Big Brother were invaded by zombies, it's cool. Anyway, that's by the by. It was partly doing that, and then through doing that, we got an episode, Demon 79, which is set in 1979, and is almost like a companion piece to Black Mirror. And it starts off well. And it looks like a good, piece of like British thing. Because I think the last 2 or 3 seasons have been a bit too American for me, Black Mirror. Been a bit too American. It's lost that English, British quirkiness. But Demon 79 so like redresses that. I don't know what the rest of the season is like because I haven't watched it. I just started watching Demon 79 and Got about a third of the way through, I think, and then I turned it off because the demon got on my nerves. But I'll go back to it. Anyway. He also said we could potentially expect to see more of these Red Mirror episodes in the future, depending on how they go down with fans. Personally, I don't get why he didn't just make a spin-off series called Red Mirror, where he does a horror anthology separate to Black Mirror. Why do we need it in the same place? Because you're cashing in on the name recognition of Black Mirror, directly in the same series. Like how Ryan Murphy made American Crime Story separate to American Horror Story. It just all gets a bit confusing. Well, I don't blame him. I don't blame him, to be honest. Say if it's popular, if those episodes get watched more than the other, pardon me, Black Mirror episodes, maybe they will do a Black Red Mirror series. But that Demon 79 didn't bode well for me because I didn't get all the way through it because the demon annoyed me. Him annoyed me. Going, come on, I'm a demon. Oh, I'm a demon, or what? Like that. I don't mean it did. Admittedly, at first, he did appear as like a demon. Classically, the might appear with horns and stuff. But his voice was like, "Oh, I'm a demon. Oh, sorry, I'll change into something that a bit nicer." And then he changes into him from Boney M. Because they're on the TV singing "Rah Rah Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. There was a cat who really was gone." Why do I know that? I don't know. But yes, I'll give it another go. I'll give it another go. And I'll watch the rest. I didn't watch season 5 of Black Mirror, by the way. I think it was only about 3 episodes, wasn't it? And I think I got about 5 minutes into the first episode and turned it off. Bloody awful. But I'm hoping maybe they've done a bit better with season 6, because season 6 is longer. And going by Red Mirror, Demon 79, it looked a bit more British and a bit more grounded and a bit less. I don't want to use the W word. That's what put me off season 5. But yeah, a bit less that. Anyway, right. I think we've one more story, and then we can go and do something more interesting with our lives. It's Doctor Who. Hang on. It's Catherine Tate again. There we go. Catherine Tate on Amazing Accident of Alchemy with David Tennant on Doctor Who. And there. I like Catherine Tate. I find her strangely attractive. Until she opens a gob, unless she's been Nan. And then I laugh. But anyway. Catherine Tate has described her pairing with David Tennant on Doctor Who as an amazing accident of alchemy. The actress, yay. I always say yay when somebody refers to a female actor as an actress, who is currently starring in her new show, Queen of Oz, played companion Donna Noble in the beloved BBC series, teamed with Tennant's Time Lord, who was the 10th Doctor. She first appeared in the closing scene of the show's 2006 series and as a special guest star in the subsequent Christmas special, before she, as the Runaway Bride, I think it was called, before she returned as Donna for the duration of series 4 and in a subsequent Christmas and New Year's special. She will now return alongside Tennant for the show's 60th anniversary trio of specials later this year. By the way, she was good in 8 out of 10 Cats Play a Countdown, or whatever the hell they call it. She was funny in that. It's a panel show, comedy quiz show. She was good in that because she had no idea how to play it, and she was hilarious. Describing working with Tennant, Tate told ITV's Good Morning Britain, "I think it was just an accident, an amazing accident of alchemy. Because we got on set, we've never acted together before. We've barely met each other, and it kind of just happened. And Russell T Davies, the showrunner, captures, I think, our energy and our speech patterns and our dynamic." Need commas there. Sorry. She added, "It's joyous and it's real. We love it, and I don't think either of us, in fact, I know neither of us, more commas needed, ever expected to get another bite of the Doctor." Tate said she thinks the specials will air sometime in November, adding, "I can say nothing. I can't even confirm I'm in it." I think they've confirmed it's going to be in November, haven't they? I'm sure they have. There we go. Doctor Who returns later this year for its 60th anniversary with 3 special episodes: The Star Beast, Wild Blue Yonder, The Giggle. A teaser has revealed the first of the 3 specials will be titled The Star Beast, while the second is called Wild Blue Yonder. I've just said that. Sex education star Ncuti Gatwa is set to take over as the Time Lord after the 3 specials, alongside Coronation Street actress Millie Gibson, diva Millie Gibson apparently, who is playing the Doctor's companion. Are you ready? Ruby Sunday. Gatwa's first episode as the 15th Doctor will air over the festive period. The latest revamp of the series sees It's a Sin writer Davis return as showrunner, the man behind the 2005 revival of the long-running BBC show, succeeding Chris Chibnall, who introduced Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. And it was awful. It was. But as I've said before, I found it awful halfway through Capaldi's tenure as the Doctor. But David Tennant, he was my favourite of the new Doctors, not of all. I think my ultimate favourite is probably Tom Baker. Either Tom Baker or Peter Davidson. It's close between those. But anyway, so there we go. It's an amazing accident of alchemy, which is probably how she pronounced it when she first read it. Right, that's it. That's it. We've done. We've done. We can all go and do something more interesting now. Right, so thanks for watching. Thanks, Windgrace, for joining in. And thanks to somebody that Windgrace knows called Archmage Frey. Where are we? There we go. Pop that there again. For becoming my first patron on Patreon. Yay! Hopefully, I'll get 1 or 2 more. But I'll keep doing videos and stuff like that and putting it on Patreon. So, as exclusive videos that you won't see on YouTube or Rumble or anywhere like that. Right. So, we'll leave it there. So, hang on, I'll get myself sorted. So, thanks for watching. And wherever you are, look after each other. Hang on, as soon as I go away from the comments, somebody says something. Hooray! Says Windgrace. You're welcome. Where were we? Oh, yes, I was saying goodbye. So, thanks for watching. Thanks, Windgrace, for everything. And I'll be back on Friday night for my appointment with Fear this week. One of my favourite films, The Sixth Sense. I see dead people and all that. That's what we're doing for this week's Friday night appointment with Fear. Yes, I'll be spoiling it, but everybody knows, don't they, about it, that I'm not saying I'm not saying until Friday, in case you don't know. Go and watch it first, and then you'll know. Right, so that's on Friday. So until then, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll see you there.